Those last few boys that are standing, can you please take a seat? Thank you, boys, and welcome back to our chapel and welcome to our first assembly of the year. I'd like to welcome our parents who are watching via live stream, and a big welcome also to our Year 7s who are watching from the hall. And to start this morning, I'd just like to give an acknowledgement of land. So I'd like to acknowledge the Durrumbal people, the traditional owners of this land. I'd also like to pay respect to the elders past, present and emerging of the Durrumbal people, and extend that respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples present. Gentlemen, the purpose of this assembly is to recognise your efforts from semester 2 of 2021, and we'll be distributing certificates and badges. We'll also be hearing from last year's Ducks of the College, Tom Orgel, but as always, when we meet in the chapel, the first priority is a reflection. So I'd like you to make the sign of the cross, please, as we lead this reflection in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So on Christmas Day last year, boys, I went to Rockhampton to spend some time with my family, and my niece's fiancé, Luke, an old boy of Emmaus College, spent the day with us as well. Now, he played a bit of footy for Emmaus in his day, so the conversation naturally turned to rugby league, and he asked me how the first went during the year, and I said they had a good win against Ignatius Park. And he said, well, they'd always had a strong rivalry with Ignatius Park. And I said that was true. And he then went on to say, in his day, the Emmaus boys also had a strong rivalry with St Brendan's. But then he said something that I found intriguing. He said, while we beat St Brendan's a few times on the field, we never beat them off the field. I said, what do you mean? And he responded with, Brendan's boys are different. And I immediately thought of Ryan Brown and Carter Ford and said, you're not wrong there. But he meant that Brendan's boys are different in the way that they interact with one another. He said they just appear more comfortable in each other's company and seem to have a special bond. He went on to say that he now works with a lot of Brendan's boys and they're still the same. And he said that connection isn't the same amongst him and his mates. He said they just don't have it. Now, I've heard similar statements before, so it got me thinking, and I thought, well, what is it that makes this place different? What is that special connection that you guys have? And the first thing I thought of was that we're a single-sex school, and that can break down stereotypical roles that sometimes exist in co-ed schools. Girls tend to be more mature at a younger age, so they tend to dominate in the arts, in music, in debating, in public speaking. They're often more organised, so they undertake lead roles in their house activities and in organising events and in public events that are put on by the schools. But here, there aren't any girls, and those roles have to be filled by you. It becomes an expected norm. It's just the way it is. So Jordan sings, Buddy dances and acts, Ninikapoya writes great speeches, Xavier debates, Noah attends every Eddie's van, Aston and Joby sculpt and paint, and no one bats an eyelid. That acceptance builds connection. Second obvious fact is that we're a boarding school. So not only do you have to go to school with someone, in many cases you live with that same person for almost 40 weeks of the year. You share a room, you share meals, share clothes, share a phone charger, share toothbrushes. Don't share toothbrushes. But it means coming to terms with the habits and nuances of another person, and that is not easy. And I think what that does is it teaches you to be more patient, possibly more forgiving, and over time, those habits which may annoy an outsider become an accepted part of who the other person is. That's just Mitch. That's just Kellen. That's just the way they do things. We're also an old school, 82 years. That means there's been a lot of boys who have trod the path before you and who have a deep connection with this school and their mates. And the care they show each other is obvious and it's evident. It's evident in the speeches that they make. Think Scott Conway at last year's valedictory. It's in their attendance at funerals. Think Mark Boyd, an old boy who led the school song in each of the parades that we held for the 3 boys we lost last year. It's evident in the creation of the foundation to provide scholarships. Think Cameron Wright. And it's equally as evident in the pride with which the old boys talk about this college. Think Matt Cooper, Peter Reddy, Brian Barry, Luke Kaplick, James Cooper. And when you see those actions and interactions, it leaves a mark on us and it leaves an understanding of what it means to be a part of this culture. And by virtue, you tend to replicate those actions and interactions. Now, I could have gone back to Luke with those 3 concepts: single-sex education, boarding and tradition, and say, mate, that is why St Brendan's boys are different. But I don't think it would have done the justice to his observation that it deserved, because there's plenty of schools out there who have the same demographics as us and the same characteristics, but they don't have that same sense of brotherhood, and that's what Luke was alluding to. So what was the missing component in all of this? What's the linchpin that forms that connection? And then I remembered this photo. You also pray together. So praying together moves us from seeking our purpose to seeking God's purpose. Praying together keeps us in check. It puts our selfishness aside and reminds us of the needs of others. Praying together provides hope and solace when things are bad, and it unifies us in our grief, which we experienced last year. Praying together breaks down barriers and it leaves us vulnerable. And it is in our vulnerability that brotherhood flourishes. So boys, we're going to pray together. And we're going to pray what will become our college prayer. A prayer beautifully crafted by Mr. Piers to represent all that we are and all that we stand for. So I ask you to please join with me if you can read the words up there. Loving God, with the courage of Brendan to journey beyond the familiar and into the unknown. The conviction of Edmund to liberate the marginalised. The compassion of Christ to go forth with love and the faith not to doubt that it will be given. St Brendan, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, we have Jesus in our hearts, and with the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. This may sound a bit unusual, boys, but Mr. Piers spent a lot of time thinking about the people that would be mentioned in that particular prayer and the concepts behind it, and I think he's done a really good job to capture what is essentially St Brendan. So can you put your hands together, please, for Mr. Piers? So we're here to present awards, gentlemen, and the boys this morning will be receiving certificates and badges. And to present the badges to the Year 8 students, I would ask Isaac Green, our Liberating Education Prefect, to come forward. Please put your hands together for Isaac.
I would like Mr. Bjorn Prince, Miss Rebecca Lang and Mr. Luke Kaplick to present the academic awards to the Year 8 students. Miss Lang grew up in Emerald and attended St Ursula's College as a boarder. She studied teaching at the Australian Catholic University in Brisbane and spent the last 20 years working for Rockhampton Catholic Diocese in Gladstone and Emerald. She has held positions of the classroom teacher, assistant principal, English as another language coordinator, and learning support teacher. She recently completed postgraduate study and attained a graduate diploma in guidance and counselling. She joins the learning support team where she will be working with the English as another language students. Mr. Kaplick is an old boy of the college. Upon graduating, he moved to Brisbane to play rugby league and study teaching at the Australian Catholic University. After completing his teaching degree, he gained a position at Marist College, Ashgrove, where he spent 19 years in a variety of different roles. These include boarding coordinator, head of sport, and assistant head of boarding. He's excited and grateful for the opportunity to be back at St Brendan's as the Director of Sport. Please make Ms Lang and Mr Kaplick welcome. The Academic Achievement Awards, which require at least one A and nothing less than a C, are the first on our list. They have been awarded to the following boys: Isaac Brady, Reed Brazer, Colby Brooks, Thomas Brown, Cooper Bruggeman, Jaden Clark, Dean Cook, Braden Date, Kyan Garth, William Granger, Mason Green, Brandon Grimshaw, Isaac Harding, Lockyer Hill, Steele Howard, Jack Hughes, Tyler Johnson, Cooper Jones, Logan Jones, Ben Kingston, Harold Chris, Joshua Malcolm, Jay Marsh, Oram McGilvray, Cody McIntyre, Kai Miller, Dylan Mills, Hunter Parson, Jack Sainsbury, Cooper Smith, Isaac Thomas, Ben Vaughan, Rain Watson, and Reed Wynett. Please put your hands together for the Year 8 Academic Achievement winners. The Academic A Awards, which require 2 or 3 A's and nothing less than a C, go to the following boys: Michael Baker, Chase Blackburn, Morgan Bridgman, Max Chappell, Robert Clifton, Nicholas Cooper Burns, William DeLuga, Dex Edmondson, Tyler Forbes, Darcy Frankish, Noah Harbrell, Caden Hoare, Mason Hollingsworth, Eli Hutchins Barnes, Michael Hutchinson, Jasper Jansen, Anthony Lowe, Mason Luck, Lewis Maxwell, Benjamin Miller, Daley Smith, Bronson Toby, Cooper Witts, and Seth Young. Please congratulate the Year 8 Academic A winners. The final awards of the Year 8 boys are the Academic A+ badges. Receiving them are Oliver Bennett, Aidan Kane, Thomas Cross, Nathaniel Davey, Nicholas Eaton, Nathan Fuller, Ty Gretton, Ewan Halberstader, Carter Hughes, Oliver King, William Lees, Will McFarlane, Jackson Pambard, Jake Paletti, Toby Scanlon, Callum Smith, Xander Thornton, Archie Watts, Zach Whitehead, and Kobe Wren. Please acknowledge the efforts for the Year 8 Academic A+ winners.
Thank you, Isaac. To present the awards to our Year 9s, I'd ask Xavier Craigs, our Gospel Spirituality Prefect, to come forward. Boys, please put your hands together for Xavier.
Assisting with the presentation of the Year 9 awards will be Mr. Paul Picotto, Miss Finley Blizzard, and Mr. Cooper Tidd. Miss Blizzard is originally from Tasmania. In 2008, she graduated with a Bachelor of Science, majoring in zoology. She worked as a veterinary nurse before deciding to travel and live overseas. Upon returning from her travels, she expanded her career prospects and completed a Certificate 3 and 4 in fitness, which led to a career as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor. After several years in the health and fitness industry, she decided to undertake a Master of Teaching. Upon completion of her Masters, she worked in the state school system in both Tasmania and Rockhampton. She now joins the St. Brendan's community as a science teacher. Mr. Tidd is an old boy of the college. On graduating, he enrolled in the Central Queensland University, where he completed a Bachelor of Education. During this time, he worked many different jobs across a range of sectors, including at St Brendan's College as an education support officer. Mr. Tidd also travelled overseas for months at a time, where he was able to experience several different cultures. He joins SBC as a teacher in the 3 faculties of Art, Health and Physical Education, and English. Please make Miss Blizzard and Mr. Tidd welcome. Starting with the Academic Achievement Awards, we have the following boys: Bailey Arnold, Stanislaw Bindero, Keely Bones, Jackson Booth, Jackson Burkhart, Blake Champion, Dylan Griffiths, Tyson Hines, Kobe Hoff, Jacob Hudson, Teal Kafka-Bauer, Nate London, Hunter Lorenz, Slater Marshall, Finn Newman, Christopher Parsons, Hugo Rothery, Brodie Scullen, Cassius Smallwood, Jai Svensson, Elliot Taylor, Patrick Waller, and Jack White. Kindly acknowledge the Year 9 academic achievement winners. Meeting the criteria for an academic AR: Nash Caulfield, Deegan Crook, Cameron DeForno, Rafferty Donaghy, Declan Dunn, Matthew Dunwoody, Charlie Kidd, Jet Mattingly, Nicholas Mayer, Oliver Miles, Nate Muller, Cooper Pearce, William Ranger, Mitchell Roberts, Joshua Russell, Tracer Sinnott, Cooper Smith, Charlie Strugnell, Isaac Thompson, Ambrose Tibbs, Mackenzie Watts, Stephen Wickerson, and Jarrah Willis. Let's show our appreciation to the Year 9 Academic A winners. The academic A+ badges and certificates will now be distributed. Matthew Bezuidenhout, Nate Brooks, Ezekiel Curran, Mason Dendell, London Duggan, Jesse Emery, Stacey Hollingsworth, Harrison Hoy, Samuel James, Piotr Kolensinski, Connor Lees, Jesse McGuinney, Jake Murphy, Hayden Rutledge, Ashton Ryan, Fletcher Scanlon, Toby Simpkins, Eddie Van Wyck, and Jack Watson. Please congratulate the Year 9 Academic A+ winners.
Thank you, boys, and thank you, Xavier. We now have a musical performance for you by the Killer Silence. They're a contemporary band, excuse me, of seasoned performers who have played at multiple events over the past 2 years. They represented the college at the Queensland Catholic Music Festival and Central Queensland's Battle of the Bands, where they received gold awards and special commendations respectively. Today they are performing a song new to their arsenal of rock and roll numbers, titled Gold on the Ceiling by the Black Keys. This song takes inspiration from several older blues styles and emphasises the earlier blues grunge of the 70s that took the world by storm. The Killer Silence are Samuel James on drums, Jesse Emery lead guitar, Patrick Waller rhythm guitar, Toby Simpkins bass guitar, and William Lees on vocals. Can you put your hands together, boys, for the Killer Silence? Can you put them together one more time, please, for the band? Boys, we're fortunate this morning to have last year's college ducks with us, and that man is Tom Orgel. Tom achieved an ATAR score of 92.65, which puts him in the top 10% of the nigh on 60,000 students that graduated from secondary schools and colleges in 2021. At the moment, Tom's taking a gap year, so you will see him working around the college. He's always had a passion for art, and for the remainder of this year, he'll be working with the art department. Can you put your hands together, please, for Tom? He's going to have a few words to you today.
Morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's helped me and all of my mates through my time at St. Brendan's College. I want to wish good luck to the boys. I know it's a bit of a grind this year. Good luck in your studies. I know what it's like. Trust me, it does get better. I'd like to share with you a short speech I've written, acting upon the ideal that I have anything useful to share. I have very little experience in the world. I am in my 4th month of the world outside of school. I regularly think about what it is I want to do with my life, but I can never seem to find any conclusion. There's just too much to consider, too much to think about, a lot of decisions to be made. Have I made any? No, not really. And I know a lot of you are in the same boat as I was last year. But you don't need to be decided on your life out in the world. I still don't even know what I have to offer to the world, let alone what it has to offer me. What I do know is that it can't be mad to have more than a few different ideas in your head. The more ideas and options and opportunities you have, the better. It's important that you make the most of what you enjoy and try to squeeze some sort of possibility or chance out of all the stuff that you just have to do. Year 12 wasn't very comfy. It wasn't easy or always fun. It was lots, but it allows you to find what it is you really care about. It helps you to decipher what the real world might be like and what you might want to do in it. I can offer you a few examples of people who have used their opportunities here at school to make some of the big decisions in their life. Gus Manns has moved to the Gold Coast and is studying a Bachelor of Science. Declan Boulder has moved to Brisbane and is doing a double degree in law and psychology. Jesse Laverty remains here in Yeppoon, completing his degree in physiotherapy. Finn Crinion is doing a dual trade and engineering degree in Gladstone. Ben Charles is studying in Brisbane while also running his own personal training business. Mchugh Tucker has moved to the Gold Coast, playing state AFL. Bryn Jones has moved out west to the mines and has just begun an apprenticeship. Each of these lads is building an opportunity they were presented after hard work. It's also important to keep in mind that these boys were again, like me, sat where you were last year, with less than no clue as to what to do with their lives. And that's the reality. I still don't know what it is I'm going to do. Currently, I'm working as a deckhand, a bartender, and an art assistant. Although I've been asked a few times, I still don't know when I'm going to cut my hair and get a real job. You don't need to know where you're going, and you don't need to stress about that fact. But you do need to realise you have a lot of options. If you're willing to crack on and embrace the unknown, I have no doubt you'll be fine. I just want to go off the cuff a little bit here. I've spoken to a lot of people about writing this speech. I actually just printed it out and finished writing it this morning in the staff room. And I just want to share a few things that a lot of people have told me. I don't think at the time and where you guys are sitting right now you realise it, and I honestly didn't realise it until last night when I got home and my dad said to me, "Oh, what do you know, what are you going to write a speech about?" And I said, "Oh, they got to write about opportunity." And he said, "Oh, well, you know, you've had plenty of that." And honestly, every single one of you boys have got plenty of opportunities. You probably won't see any of them right now, or you know, you might find a few. And the thing you just got to keep in mind is you want to do what you want to do. Don't waste your time chasing other people's dreams, because it's easy to waste a lot of time, but just put in the hard work where you want to put it in and get out what you want to get out, because no one else is going to help out. And I want to leave you on a good note, so enjoy the rest of your time at school. Thank you.
Guys, I think that some really good observations there from Tom. In the past, we would have old boys stand up and give similar speeches. In a lot of those cases, they knew what they wanted to do. They knew that they were going to go to uni. They knew they were going to do this trade. They knew their direction and path. But for most of us, that's not easy things and not easy decisions to make. And I think the way that Tom framed that for you is really important. Okay? There are opportunities out there for you, and there are opportunities in this place, and take advantage of each of those. So thank you again, Tom. One of the opportunities Tom has as the Ducks of the college is to receive a cheque from the college for his performance, and I'd like to give Tom the $1,000 cheque for the Ducks of the college from 2021 and wish him all the best in his endeavours. So thank you, Tom. Okay. Year 10 academic awards are next on our list, and to present them we have the Justice and Solidarity Prefect, Jackson Smith. Please put your hands together for Jackson.
Distributing the awards to the Year 10 boys will be Mr. Jody Ole, Miss Mandy Gill, and Mr. Matthew Mchugh. Miss Gill completed her primary and secondary education in Hong Kong. She migrated to Melbourne when she was 19 and undertook a Bachelor of Legal Studies and Master of Teaching from Monash University. Upon graduating, she took a full-time teaching position in Charters Towers, west of Townsville. She spent 3 years at Blackheath Thornborough College teaching English and Humanities. She continues her work in those faculties at St. Brendan's. Mr. Mchugh is a recent graduate from the Queensland University of Technology. Growing up in Rockhampton, he attended Emmaus College. Upon graduating, he studied a course in human movement science. He used that as a stepping stone to move to Brisbane to complete a Bachelor of Paramedic Science from QUT. He graduated and worked on the road for a short time, but realised his passion did not lie in this career. He attained a position with Nike that took him from Brisbane to Melbourne. It was there he realised his passion for learning and educating. After almost a decade of work with Nike, he and his wife returned to Central Queensland, where he completed a Master of Education. During this time at university, he was fortunate enough to complete his final 2 teaching experiences at St. Brendan's. He has since joined the college as a science and mathematics teacher and is looking forward to what this career holds at this fantastic school. Please welcome Mr. Mchugh and Miss Gill. Receiving academic achievement certificates and badges this morning are the following boys: Michael Amity, Bryce Anthony, Hayden Beath, Jacob Bennett, Cleveland Collier, Alexander Eaton, Riley Isles, Ethan Grant, Bluey Kabai, Samuel Kingston, Ethan Pearson, Nazareno Pisani, William Quinlan, Darcy Ryan, and Cohen Stewart. Please put your hands together for the Year 10 academic achievement winners. From the Year 10 cohort, the following boys have attained academic A badges and certificates: Joshua Armat, Jacob Barr Riches, David Beddoe, Toby Daly, Lachlan Davis, Clay Dendel, Jack Hardy, Joseph Manns, Tyler Melrose, Jay Morrison, Tarkin O'Brien, Nate Pears, Ethan Perry, Matthew Rogers, Jack Simpkins, Charlie Swaffield, Riley Todman. Liam Welsh. William Witten. Kai Willett. And Roman Wilson. Please give a round of applause for the Year 10 Academic A winners. Achieving the criteria to be awarded an academic A+ are the following boys: Isaac Alexander, Jackson Broom, Matthew Campbell, Alexander Sirachi, Harrison Cotter Drake, Bradley Cumberledge, Hayden Gittins, Simon Green, Cooper Hall, Jacob Hill, Dylan Hughes, Cooper Jukes, Matthew Kershaw, Tyke Leonard, Jamie Long, Braylon Marsh, Benjamin Mazafari, Riley McFarlane, Jacob Maguire, Lachlan Maguire, Quinn Mursky, Samson Minto, Daniel Rees, Bodie Ricketts, McKinley Smith, Dominic Thompson, Joshua Voke, and Cooper Wilton. Please congratulate the Year 10 Academic A+ winners.
Thank you, Jackson. The Year 11 Academic Awards will be presented by the Inclusive Community Prefect, Lachlan McLeod. Boys, can you put your hands together for Lachlan?
Distributing the Year 11 awards will be Mr. Jason Merrifield, Head of Year 11, and Mr. Temel Ludwig. Mr. Ludwig completed his schooling in Yeppoon and joined the Royal Australian Navy, where he completed an apprenticeship as an electronics technician. Over a 10-year career, he maintained and repaired electrical systems on Landy-craft heavy platforms, border patrol boats, and Anzac-class frigates. In 2017, looking for a sea change, Mr. Ludwig left the Defence Force and commenced work as the Electrical Operations Manager for a local electrical contractor. In this role, he undertook major electrical projects, mining operations, solar design, and installations. He is a qualified electrical tradesman and also holds a Certificate 4 in Engineering and a Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment. He is currently employed in the Industrial Technology Department to deliver the Electrotechnology vocational courses. He is about to complete his degree in education and will then commence teaching in other subjects in the ITD facility. Can you please make them both feel welcome? The academic achievement recipients in the Year 11 cohort are Mervyn Armat, Levi Bello, Tass Komalati, Hayden Cullerfield, Patrick Elliott, Lachlan Farrington, Lachlan Griffiths, Kyan Hickson, Reuben Jenkins, Nathan Kalaha, Lachlan Rasmussen, Joshua Rolfe, Levi Sanderlands, Hayden Shaw, Hugh Stiller, Inasta Temoy, Jasper Tibbett, and Jordan Wyville. Can you please congratulate the Year 11 Academic Achievement winners? The Academic A badges and certificates have been awarded to the following boys: Thomas Adams, Jet Ballard, Caleb Bullman, Samuel Bent, Lachlan Doakey, Darcy Drought, Jack Duggan, Zach Elam, Jacob Field, Charlie Hemmings, Jack Hutchinson, Cody Kilalala, Ty Lasker, Cooper Lee, Dominic Lomas, Jimmy McKelland, Mackenzie O'Connor, Flynn Pollard, Oliver Rogers, Leo Simons, Eden Smith, Kyron Weaver, Charlie Willis, Maxwell Woods, and Wraith Wren. Can you please recognise the efforts of the Year 11 Academic A winners? The highest of our awards, the Academic A+ badges, go to these boys: William DeForno, Blake Field, Eli Harding, Murphy Holt, Kaylin Humphreys, Rococo Hunt, Jordan King, Luke Moore, Caleb Morrison Hanson, Austin Salter, Patrick Slade, Ranger Sullivan, Elijah Walker, Kalini Walsh, and Cruz Warner. Please affirm the Year 11 Academic A+ winners with a round of applause.
Thank you, Lockie. We're going to break it up now, boys, with a bit of jazz. So it's a musical performance by the Jazz Trio. Thank you. They comprise of Jasper Tibbett on drums, Jordan King on keys, and Caleb Bullman on trombone. They're performing All of Me, a song that was written in 1931 and later recorded by Louis Armstrong, Frank Sinatra and Billie Holiday to mention a few classic artists. The song even reached number 3 on the Hot Country Songs list when a version was sung by Willie Nelson, and it was later entered into the Hall of Fame in 2000. Can you welcome the boys as they play All of Me? Is that working? Yep. And thank you for Mr. Walker for stepping in today for a number of the songs. Some of the players have been out with COVID, so can you put your hands together please for Mr. Walker as well, guys? For the presentation of our last lot of awards, Year 12 Academic Award, can you please put your hands together for College Captain Nini Kapuya Moore.
I would like Mr. Trevor Gunane and Principal Callboy to help present the next awards. In the Year 12 cohort, the following boys are eligible for an Academic Achievement Award. Max Chambers, Sean Cumberledge, Isaac Dooley, Elijah Edwards, Lucas Groves, Will Henderson, Sam Hendry, Alexander Hoy, Ryan Keating, Jack Lloyd, Jacob Louth, Jarvis Murray, Dominic Nezick, Harvey Nye, Kai Pambid, James Reddish, Angus Reynolds, Harrison Ryan, Zane Scrivener, Ryan Selwood, Connor Sleeman, Corey Smith, Hendrikus Voigt, Charlie Waller, Jack Zarb. Please put your hands together to celebrate the boys. The Academic A badges and certificates have been awarded to the following boys: Mitchell Baker, Jack Broadfoot, Charlie Busby, Fraser Caulfield, Trey Gesler, Matthew Groves, Mason Hayes, Mark Hode, Jesse Hooper Lindsay, Slater Leahy, Ninikapoya Mora, myself, Mackenzie Nixon, and Curtis Skinner. Please put your hands together to celebrate our Academic Day winners. Receiving Academic A+ badges today will be Kaida Najasaka, Lincoln Beckett, Callan Campbell, Jacob Carriage, Xavier Craggs, Cameron Frankish, Isaac Green, Jeremy Green, Matthew Hay, Jet Mannion, Robert McKenna, Lachlan McLeod, Benjamin O'Brien, Alexander Rees, Jackson Smith, Lachlan Sweeney, Riley Tyndale Smith, Please give a round of applause for the boys.
Folks, that almost wraps up our presentation and awards ceremony. I'd like to thank the parents who have watched us from home via live stream. I'd like to thank the Year 7s, who for them it would have been their first academic assembly. We would have loved to have you in this facility, but with our numbers the way they are, that unfortunately couldn't happen today. I just got to acknowledge a couple of people before I wrap it up. Mr. Jorgensen and the tech crew always do a fantastic job. Boys, can you put your hands together for them, please? Mr. Ingram, Mr. Owens, Ms. Priddle, Mr. Walker, can you put your hands together for all the work that they do? The artwork is always fantastic, and I think it's a good break from the names being presented there, so a big round of applause for Miss Goves and Mrs. Cooper. And Mr. Tidd, who is joining them, but none of that artwork from his class yet, so we're looking forward to see what Mr. Tidd does. But let's put our hands together for Mr. Tidd again. And Matthew Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, there is one more slide in my presentation. There we are. This is what we're all here for, boys, the house points. So Year 7s, you're watching in the hall, but your efforts in the classroom are recognised, and you'll be given points for achieving academic achievement, an academic A or an academic A+, and those points go towards your house points for the year. So I think I've got these in the right order, but in 4th place, with 675 points, we have Gettins. In 3rd place, we have Tynan with 800 points. In 2nd spot, we have Hayes with 805. And in 1st place, with 870 points, starting the new year where they left last year, is Mchugh. All right. So thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Thank you. All right. Nina Kapoya has a couple of words to say in regards to the musical, so I'd ask him to come forward. Following that, Mr. Cooper will be doing the dismissals. Nina Kapoya.
All right, before I get to speaking, I'd just like to thank Mr. Horan for setting up this event, so can we all give him a round of applause, please? All right, lads, earlier on today, Tom Orgel came up and he spoke about opportunity and how we should make the most of what we have here. And the musical is an opportunity for kids, whether you're in grade 7 all the way up to grade 12, to go and have fun, enjoy yourself, while picking up some new skills along the way. So, when I decided to do the musical, I was in Year 11, and I only saw it once, and it was up here. And in Year 12, I decided to do it because of what I saw. I saw my mates going up, enjoying themselves, and putting on a good performance for the community of Yeppoon, all right? And what I'm trying to say is you guys should not want to be like me. You don't want to wait until you're 17 years old or 18 years old and out of school, looking back now and thinking, maybe I should have tried that a long time ago. Lad, you should be going on doing these things now so that later on in life you have no regrets. That's all I want to say.
I'm not as good as a public speaker as Nine, but my experience with the musical, it's been a long one. I started in grade 8, got pulled along by a very charismatic leader, some of you may remember, Fletcher Kendall. And I've been doing it ever since. It's what I love. When I leave school, I don't want to pursue music or acting as a career, but it's something that's always going to be in my life, and I aim to keep continuing it. It's helped me a lot. I'm not very good at public speaking, or I'm not very good at talking in front of everybody, get a lot of anxiety, but musical helps me. And if you asked me to do this in grade 7, I would not have been able to, but musical has helped me, and the past 5 years has built my confidence up, and I highly recommend that everyone in this room gives it a shot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackson. If you're a teacher in this auditorium and you have a lesson in period 2, you can head off. Everyone else needs to remain, please.